fertilizers? Hello, class 9. Yeah, two type organic fertilizers are organic and chemical. Compost manure and green manure, right? Children, take your correct position. Don't catch anything. Don't rotate. Relax. Name some plants which can be used as green manure. Dhaicha. What's the name? Dhaicha. Next. Barsim, Dhaicha, soybean, pigeon pea, sunhemmed, titepati, osuro, ganja. Marijuana, ganja also, right? These are the things. By hearing ganja, become very happy ganja. Okay. Now children, we have to discuss about inorganic fertilizers. What are we going to discuss? Inorganic means chemical. Master, Tejas, stand up. You are writing something. It's not the right time to write. One walk at a time. Hold your arms, everybody. Relax and take part in conversation, interaction. That is the thing. Right? So, inorganic means they are made in factories. What are they made? Factories. They use different type of chemical substances and fertilizers are made. So, in factories, using various chemical substances. So, inorganic fertilizers are also called chemical. What are they called? Chemical fertilizer. Please underline in the book also. I notice in class 8, YouTube style, observing and finishing. The wrong method. When you are discussing, please open your book also. And what is underlined there and what are important matters, you underline that. Then it will be essential, useful also. Example of chemical fertilizer is urea, CONH2. It is chemical fertilizer, but it contains carbon. These inorganic fertilizers, they are rich in nutrients. They supply more amount of nitrogen, more amount of phosphorus, and more amount of potassium. They supply more amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. We discussed organic fertilizers can give can help in increase up to 50%, right? But when inorganic fertilizers are used, then the production will increase more than 95%. Huge production will be there. But use of fertilizer is very essential. If we start using more, then instead of growing more crops, more fruits, you will lose the plant only and no production will be there. So we have to be very careful. There are more dangerous also, more hazards also. Especially, I told you that this nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium are supplied more by inorganic fertilizers. And by the use of these fertilizers, plants, they can resist the diseases. They do not get affected by disease easily. And these inorganic fertilizers are nutrient special or specific, we can say nutrient specific. I mean, some they provide nitrogen only, some provide potassium only, some provide phosphorus only, some provide nitrogen and phosphorus, some provide nitrogen and potassium, and some provide all NPK. So what type of thing is required, that type of nutrient can be used. I mean, if there is a land, there is lack of nitrogen only. Phosphorus and potassium is there already. Just nitrogen content is less. At that time, simply we can use the fertilizer that is rich in nitrogen. But if you use the fertilizer that contains nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, then content of that P and K will be more or not. If amount is more, then again there will be effect. That's why I just said These inorganic fertilizers are nutrient specific, means they contain rich amount of nutrient. Mainly which nutrients are essential for plants? Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Carbon, oxygen, hydrogen they can get from water also. Yes or no? Fertilizer doesn't provide that. Remember macronutrients and micronutrients. Okay, now we have to discuss about um, three different type of chemical fertilizers. One is nitrogenous fertilizer. Next one is phosphorus or phosphatic fertilizer. And what is the next one? Potassium fertilizer. What are you going to discuss? Nitrogenous fertilizer, phosphorus or phosphatic fertilizer, and potassium or potash fertilizer. Nitrogenous fertilizer. How do we define nitrogenous fertilizer? The fertilizers, please underline it, which contain the salts of nitrogen. Salts of nitrogen, not free nitrogen, salts of nitrogen. Some of the examples are ammonium sulfate, NH4 whole 2 SO4, ammonium nitrate, NH4 NO3, urea, CONH2 whole 2, calcium cyanamide, CaCN whole 2. In ammonium sulfate there is nitrogen, ammonium nitrate here is nitrogen, urea nitrogen, calcium cyanamide nitrogen. Nitrogen is macro element. So these salts are called nitrogenous fertilizers. They supply nitrogen to soil. From soil, plants can absorb nitrogen. And what does nitrogen do? And what happens when there is lack of nitrogen in the body of plants? We will study now. Okay, why is nitrogen essential for plants? Number one, what is the reason? Fast growth and development of plants. Plants grow very fast. Are you underlining or looking here only, Maharaja? Main points you underline. Not a whole sentence like fast growth and development. It will strike in your mind. Understood? Matter is that. Point number two, it fails to form a large amount of protein, and protoplasm and chlorophyll. It helps to form large amount of protein, protoplasm and chlorophyll. Third one, it helps to increase the yield of crops. Production of crop will be higher because of nitrogen. Number one, fast growth and development, large amount of protein and increase in yield of crops. Don't bite nails every time, Bimali. Where's your pencil? Did you underline these major points? Everybody, essentially. Don't underline all the things. Then when there is a time of study, what to read, have to read. By observing this also, it will strike in your mind. Okay, what happens if there is a lack of nitrogen in plants? Deficiency of nitrogen means if the plant gets less amount of nitrogen, what type of symptoms can be seen? Sometimes you eat food and the food may not be hygienic and you go long toilet continuously, and that condition can be regarded as diarrhea. What is that? Diarrhea. Then what are the symptoms of diarrhea? Tongue, they say. Right? Here also we have to remember. The deficiency of nitrogen causes when the plants do not get sufficient nitrogen. What is the first one? Stunted or low growth and development of plants. Plants are not tall, short. Growth is retarded. Pudke plants are formed. Stunted. Point number two, Decrement in the synthesis of chlorophyll. Leaves are not bright green in color, maybe dull green or a little bit yellow in color. If bright green color, there is sufficient nitrogen. Otherwise, none. Yellow leaves. Reduction in crop yielding, less production of crops. Delayed or suppressed flowers are produced very late. And small and weak fruits and seeds. And seeds may fall down, fruits may fall down, and farmers will be in loss. Major points remember: low growth, reduction in crop yielding, small and weak fruits. Have you got 3 points or not? In that way we have to mark it. Did you mark, Babu? Don't mark everything. Main points you have to mark. Example of the these fertilizers which contain nitrogen are ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, urea, and calcium cyanamide. Now next one is phosphorus or phosphatic fertilizer. What is a phosphorus or phosphatic fertilizer? Fertilizer which contains phosphorus, where there is presence of phosphorus. Some examples are, what are the examples? What is the first one? Ammonium phosphate, NH4 whole 3 PO4. But this contains two nutrients, main nutrients. Nitrogen also, phosphorus also. Can you see or not? Right? If the soil lacks two nutrients, then ammonium phosphate can be provided. Triple superphosphate, here is phosphorus. Calcium superphosphate, here is phosphorus. Ammonium monosulfate, phosphorus. Ammonium dihydrogen phosphate, phosphorus. First one contains two main nutrients, macronutrients, but these others contain only one. You must remember the names: urea, nitrogen; ammonium carbonate, nitrogen; ammonium phosphate, phosphorus. Others it will come later. What does phosphorus do in plants? What is the first one? Proper growth and development of roots. Plants' height increases because of nitrogen. Roots grow well because of what? Phosphorus. And it promotes blooming. Different type of flowers, not different flowers, more number of flowers are produced, and increases seed production. Maturity of seeds. Seeds mature properly because of phosphorus. It protects the plants from diseases. A quick ripening. Plants must ripen on time. Ripening means pakno. Yes or no? It is done. They have got one type of function. Nitrogen has got next function. And deficiency of phosphorus. If there is a lack of phosphorus, then what will happen? Then these type of problems can be seen. What is the first point? Inadequate growth and development of roots. Roots, they do not grow well. As a result, plants may fall down during minor wind. In heavy wind, many they will fall down. Reduction in disease resistant power of the plants. Plants suffer from different diseases. They become weaker. Appearance of red purple color along the leaf margin. In the leaf margin, suppose if this is the leaf, in this side, red purple color can be seen here. Red purple color can be seen in the margin. Decrease the rate of cell division. Cell division is the activity due to which growth is faster. But if the rate of cell division is slow, do not grow well. And thin and weak plants and prolonged maturity of crops. takes long time for maturing or ripening the crops. Crops do not ripen fast. These are the two fertilizers we have discussed. What are they? One is, what do you want? Nitrogen fertilizer. Second one is phosphorus fertilizer. Okay. Now write down in your rough copy the questions. Question number 1. Define inorganic fertilizer. Define inorganic fertilizer. Point number 2. Name any 3 fertilizers which contain nitrogen. Name any 3/3 you can write, so it will be easy. Name any 3 fertilizers which contain nitrogen and phosphorus each. Nitrogen and phosphorus each, done. Mention any 2 functions of nitrogen and phosphorus each. Write any 2 functions of nitrogen and phosphorus each. The last question is, mention any 3 effects of deficiency of. Mention any 3 effects of deficiency of nitrogen and phosphorus each. How many questions became? Question? 4 questions. That is your homework.